Hi all, this is McCray here doing another video, graphs, identifying graphs and functions, okay? So basically what I'm gonna do is go over the do now questions, the letters and the definitions with the letters, and then do a couple problems, and then I'll have you guys do a couple problems from there, okay? So I'll try my best to describe it as I go through the problems, the letters here, okay? So the first one is basically the part of a graph with the lowest y value, okay? So that would always be the minimum. Okay, that would be the minimum here. That would be D. So what I'm basically saying there, if I have a graph here, all right, the lowest portion, here's a parabola, here's the lowest spot, so that would be the minimum. Okay, like that. All right, and it says all the y values are needed in the graph function, to graph the function. That would be B, the range. Okay, we already know that one before. Okay, and then where the y value increases and when x increases. Okay, so the y value and the x increases at the same time. So that would be E, that would be increasing. Okay, so what I'm saying to you on that, if we have a graph here, basically if the x increases, this is the x, this is the y, it has to go up, 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 and this way. Okay, so basically you have increasing y values and you have increasing x values. Okay, so the next one is where the graph crosses the x-axis. We should all know that as the x-intercept. Okay, we already know that one. I could show you a picture of that one, but I think we should all know that right here. Here is the line, so it crosses the x-axis. This is the x-intercept. Okay, we know that one. All right, the part of the graph with the highest y value, okay, that would be the maximum. Okay, that would be the maximum. So graph looks like this. Here's a parabola. This point would be the maximum, the highest point. Okay, and where the y values decreases and the x value increases. Okay, so that would be F decreasing. So what does that look like? Basically here we have a graph that decreases, so it's going downwards, but it goes this way. Okay, so it's going down in the y, but the x is still increasing. Okay, and all the x values where it needed to graph the function, that would be the domain. Okay, where the y value does not change when x increases. Okay, so basically we have a situation like this. So the line is the y, and the line goes just like that down the line. So it increases in x, but doesn't never increases in y. So that would mean it would be constant. Constant, that would be J. All right. Next one is the slope, how steep it is, and change in y would change in x. So we should all know that one. That should be easy. That's the rate of change. Okay. We talked about that ad nauseum last unit. And the last one was where the graph crosses the y-axis. That's easy. That's the y-intercept. I said the I-intercept, but that's the y-intercept. Okay, so that is the definitions that you'll need for this lesson, and we'll practice this over the next couple of days, next couple of classes, so we're kind of good at it and get really good at it going forward. Okay, so what are we going to do with this information? So now we have all the definitions of what we need to know. Now we're going to take that stuff and now we're going to use it to actually identify the information on the graph. Okay, so so we're going to have different graph functions now, and now we're going to use that information to identify different points. Okay. All right. So let's use it now. So we have it. Here's the function here. Here's the line that's going up and sideways here. That's great. Just different segments, and it ends at this point, and it also ends at this point here. So there's no continuity with this. So first thing to ask, let's find what is the x-intercept. So what do we know about the x-intercepts? Let's go up to the top. X-intercepts basically means, that's H, that means where it crosses the x-axis. So every point where it crosses the x-axis is going to be a x-intercept. So all we have to do is write those coordinate points. So looking at that one, that's about 2.5. So it's 2.5, negative 2.5, and 0. That'd be 1. The other one would be 2 and 0. And the last one would be 8 and 0. Dot. Okay, so the next one is maximum. What does maximum mean? That's G. That means the part of the graph with the highest y value. Okay, so we just have to figure where that is right here. Boom, that's the maximum. So we just have to write that coordinate point. So that'd be 10, 6. Okay, where's the y-intercept? Y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. Okay, it only crosses the y-axis once, right at this point. That's the y-intercept right here. So that would be 0, 2. Okay, The minimum point, minimum is where the lowest point is, okay? So we have 3 points at the lowest point, right? This one right here, this one right here, this one right here. So that all those would be the minimums. Okay, so that would be quarter point, -4 and -4 and 3, -3. That's one. The other one is 5 and -3. And the other one is 7 and -3. Great. Okay, good. So those are the points. Now the next one is domain and range. So domain says is all the x values. Where does it start in the x, and where does it continue to? Okay, so this is kind of a tricky concept, like conceptually to see, but hopefully you can start getting it. So so the domain is basically where the x, how many x values are in this graph. So at this point on the left hand side, right here, this is the stopping point. So this is x, and it continues and goes all the way down, all the way down till we get to 10 here. So that's the other point. Okay, so that's the other other point here. So that would be the domain. So the domain would be, so you have to write it in a certain way, okay? And we're gonna start working on that. So basically we'd say that x is greater than or equal to -4. And we also would say x is less than or equal to -10. Okay, so that's how it would look. That's how you would write that. All right, not -10, sorry, +10. +10. So therefore, we would write like this. We would write -4. Okay, let's see, -4 plus or minus x, and then we're going to write less than 10. And that would be how you would write it like that. So on the test, you can either write it like this, or you can write it like this. I mean, I'm going either way. Now the range is basically, look at where it goes in the x's, okay? So we start at the bottom. We start at -3 here at this point. We're going to check all the y values, and it goes all the way up to 6, okay, right here. Okay, so it would be x is greater than or equal to -3, but it also is x is greater than or equal to 6, like that. Okay, so if you want to write that again, we could write that as -3 this way, x, and then we write that as 6, like that. Okay, so either way on the test, I'll take it. Okay, either way would work for me. All right, so you can write it either way. All right, so let's look at some more points on this graph here. Okay, so it says, where's the constant? What's the constant in this graph? So constant is j, is where the y value doesn't change and x increases. Okay, so that's what constant means. So if you look at it here, where is our constant point when the y value does not change? So at this point right here, so between these 2 points, that is the constant. Okay, it doesn't move, all right? So again, we could just say between 5 and 7. So x is less than, x is greater than 5, but also x is less than 7. Okay, less than or equal to 7. So that would be the constant. Now the other question is, where is it decreasing? Where is it decreasing? Okay, so you got to look at it from left to right. Again, like I said, left to right here. So at this point right here, and it going down this way to the left here. So that would be the decreasing portion of it. So where is that? So it's -1. So x is greater than or equal to -1. Okay, and it's also x is less than or equal to +5, and that would be the decreasing portion of it. Okay, so as the x and the increasing is going up. Okay, so let's look at the increasing portion of it. Okay, so basically, where is it increasing? All right, so there's actually 2 points where it actually increases, right? So at -4 here, and it goes all the way up to 3. And then you can look at the other one where after the constant 7, it goes all the way up to 3, and it only goes all the way up to 6. So that's what we have to write. So again, we'd have y is greater than -4, and then we have y is less than 3. Okay, and then the other portion is we'd write. Okay, this is difficult, guys. Y is less than, greater than 7, and then y is less than 10. That would be the increasing portion of it, okay? So that's how we would do it. Now, we're not going to worry about positive and negative. We're going to take those out. Okay, we're not going to worry about that. Now the next point is like, okay, so now they're giving us points on the graph, okay? So what do we know? F of 3. So we know that x is 3. So what is the y value when x is 3? So that's all we have to do is look for the graph here. So where is it 3? Right here. Okay, x is 3 here, but where's the line crossed when it goes past 3? It crosses at -1. So we're going to put the value of -1 here. Okay, f is -2, so basically x, where x is -2, what's the value of y? Okay, so the value of y right here is 1. Okay, all right, and so a couple other questions is like f of x is equal to 1, so that would be y is equal to 1. So what would be the x value? Okay, so again, we just when it's 1, y is 1, what's the x value here? 1. Okay, and then look at this. If f of x is 1, okay, where is y is 1, what is x? Okay, I'm looking at x is still 1 here. Okay, oh, it's another spot too. So I see at this point it is also -2 as well, because it's 1 right here. When it's 1 right here, it's going to be -2 at the same time. Okay, x is -2. Okay, all right. So the next one says when f is 3, f of x is 3. So we find out where 3 is, right at this point right here. And then we say, okay, it's all the way down, it's 1. Okay, x is -1. And then we say, where else is it 3? So if we go all the way over right here at this point and go down, it's 9. Okay, and then the other one says, okay, f of x is -4. So -4 is right here. Where is it -4? Oh, I'm sorry, the y is -4 right here. And unfortunately, looking at it, there's no line that passes -4 on the y-axis. So that does not exist. Okay, and that's what you would write there. Okay, so that's how it would work about identifying and trying to do these graphs. Okay, it's basically just going through and just looking for those points using the definition and kind of trying it through there. Okay, so let's try another one, and then like I said, I'll let you guys practice a little bit. This is tough, but like I said, over a couple days, I think we should be able to pull this off. All right, so let's practice a little bit here more. Oh, sorry guys, I gotta make another layer to make this right. All right, so we have another graph here. So basically it says find f of 3. Okay, so remember we said 3 in the middle means it's x. So we have to find out where 3 is right here. And then we look up all the way up, the y value would be 5. Okay, so now the other one says find x when f of x is -5. So here's -5 right here. Oh, wait a minute, -5 down here on the y-axis, because that basically means y isn't equal to -5. And then you have to determine what the x value is. So if we go on this line right here, boom, right? I think a little bit off, so probably this point right here. Okay, so that would be, x would be -7. All right, so the next one is f of x is equal to 1. Okay, so y is equal to 1 right here on this point, 1. And where does it cross? Where does the x value cross that? So it's at 5 and 7. Okay, so find f of -7. So basically, -7 is x. Okay, it's right here. Okay, and where does that cross? What is the y value of that, which is -5? Okay, so the next question is, what's the minimum? Minimum means what's the lowest point in the graph. Okay, right here. So all you have to do is give you that coordinate point. So -7, 5. -5. The maximum is the highest point right here. So we look at 3, and then we got 5. Okay, now the question is the domain. The domain basically means, okay, how many x values are in this graph. So remember we said, if you look at this point here at the end right here, and we look at the point all the way at the end here, and we count them in our spaces. from here to here. Okay, not actually count. We actually want to write down how many spaces. So again, like I said, if you think about it, anything greater than 7 and not more than 7, right? So basically, x is greater than or less than or equal to 7. X is greater than or equal to -7, and that would be the domain. Put a line to show domain here. Okay, and the next one is the range. What is the range here? So we go to the highest point right here, which is 5, and the lowest point here, which is -5. So then we just have to write x is greater than 5, and then x is less than or equal, greater than or equal to -5. Okay, and that's how it would work. All right. So the next question is, where is the function constant? Okay, you're going to save. So the y doesn't increase, but the x increases. So right here is the constant. Okay, that's the constant. So again, what distance is that? That's x is greater than 5. Okay, x is greater than 5 here. I'm sorry. X is greater than 5. X is less than or equal to 7. Okay, we're not going to do the rate of change. We're not going to do the rate of change because it's kind of funky, and I don't really want to go into that too much. All right, so where is the function decreasing? When is the function decreasing, going lower? Okay, so from here to here, it's going lower, going from x to y, and then also right here to here as well is the spot where it's going lower. Okay, so remember, because we're looking left to right, so then all we have to do is write those points. Okay, so again, this point right here is -1. So when x is -1, when x is greater than or equal to -1, and also where it's less than to +1. That's one spot. But the next spot is basically at 5 and at 3 and 5. So then we could just say x is greater than 3, but also x is less than or equal to 5. And that'll be the information. Okay? So the other question is, where is it increasing? So again, we take at this point right here, again, it's got to go upwards from left to right. So go up here, this one, all the way to this point right here. Okay, so that would be x is greater than -7, and then x is less than -1. What else is increasing? Right here at this point right here. So 1 over 3. So then we could just say x is greater than equal to 1, but it also is less than or equal to 3. And that's how it would work in that situation. Okay, that's how it would work in that situation. It's basically trying to work that through, right, and trying to get that done. Okay, so again, pretty easy stuff to do, I think. But like I said, it is time consuming as we work along the process. But I think we can definitely do it. Try your best today, and we will talk more as we go along. Peace.